Former President Donald Trump indicted by a grand jury in Manhattan. Plants make noise, and it's recorded tonight. And we've got rain and thunderstorms in the forecast. Welcome to a Thursday, Felicia.
Yeah.
Angela, good
Almost
to have everybody
Friday.
here.
Yes, and now in case you missed it, oh, welcome to you too, Scott. In case anyone missed it, he said plants.
Plants.
With the P-L-A-N-T-S.
That's right.
Plants making noise.
That's right. We're going to be talking about an interesting study, and you're going to hear these plants make noise tonight. So we'll get to that in a moment, but we do want to make sure that you're weather aware because tomorrow's going to be a day that you're probably going to need the rain gear.
Yes, take the umbrella, have the app downloaded on your phone. It really is a great resource, especially if you're on the go, because if you sign up for the alerts, you can get those alerts even if you're moving. So it'll recognize where you are and alert you to what's happening where you are. I have my alerts also set for where my two kids go to college.
Right.
So you can do that as well. You can see the interactive radar. From that interactive radar, you can also do future radar. We'll have blogs updated continuously throughout the day tomorrow because of what you see on the screen now, that threat of severe storms. Most of the state at a 2 or a 3 on our scale of 1 to 5, but easy to point out the two areas highlighted in red. One across eastern Iowa and northwestern Illinois, the other across southeast Missouri into portions of Arkansas. These two areas have the greatest potential for severe storms, although, and this really is where the greatest potential for tornadic storms is going to set up. We expect the initiation of these cells to be in the eastern parts of Iowa, and it's going to be what's left over that moves through here later tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, bringing the threat for some damaging winds. Can't rule out an embedded tornado with that line, and we'll watch very carefully any storms that develop on their own. That's where we could have a couple of tornadic cells locally. Our severe wind odds, so we're looking at probabilities here. We weren't 0 as far as tornadoes go, but we're higher on that scale for damaging winds. Not 0 as far as hail, but on the low side as well. So yes, we could see some hail. Yes, we could see a couple of tornadoes. Damaging wind threat a little higher, along with that potential for some heavy rain. The good news, we're still expecting some rain early in the day, so set your alarm clock early. Be sure to check in with Chuck and Kelly. They'll be tracking rain and a wet morning drive for some for Friday morning. That's 4 a.m. and I'll stop it at 8 a.m. So some wet roads for the Friday morning commute, but that would, as long as we continue with clouds and at least have some rain around, the atmosphere is going to remain a bit more stable. So when that line initiates out to our west and starts to move our way, it should weaken a little bit. That doesn't take us out of that threat for severe storms, but by tomorrow night, let's say 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Actually, if we can go back to graphics real quick. I've got the main line coming through tomorrow night, and you can see it developing out to our west. And then this is 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, and then the line itself, yes.
There it is.
There it is, goes from west to east, most likely between 8 p.m. and midnight, give or take. And again, we'll watch for any individual storm that would develop ahead of this line. The line itself will bring that potential for some damaging winds.
Oh.
So we're rooting for rain.
Rain.
During the day to take some of the threat out of tomorrow night.
Yes, it would take some of the instability out of the atmosphere, which would be good. And we'll just have to watch and see what develops in eastern Iowa, northwestern Illinois. That's really the target point for what develops, and if we get some tornadic cells developing there and southeastern Missouri, and where those go as they move across Illinois and move our way.
Okay.
How they hold together.
Okay. All right, Angela. Do you call your kids and give them each their respective forecasts, or when they're severe, you?
I do.
Okay.
Like, because I'll get the alert for a winter weather advisory up in Angola, so I'll text Grace to take. Probably not a good idea to drive if you don't have to.
Do they like that? Because I would love that, but I know when it's your mom, it's different.
They probably don't like it.
It's different when it's your mom, but I would be like, oh,
I will be glad to give you weather alerts and give you my opinion about what you're doing. I'm all over it because they don't care anymore.
That's what happens when
Naya,
the kids
I'll give it to you too if you don't.
I would.
Okay.
I would appreciate it.
Naya is our floor director extraordinaire who's behind the camera tonight.
Who's the same age as much so she gets it.
All right, we'll talk a little bit more about the weather in a moment. Let us know where you're watching tonight. We do want to talk about the big story happening across the country. Former President Donald Trump indicted by that grand jury that has been looking into claims of a hush money payment to Stormy Daniels back in 2016. And Alice Barr from NBC has the very latest tonight from Washington.
Good evening. 3 sources are confirming to NBC News that former President Trump has been indicted by a grand jury in Manhattan. At this point, we do not know what he's been charged with. That is because the indictment is still under seal. Important to remember, grand juries operate in secret by design. So until that document is made public, we don't know a lot of detail. What we do know is that the charge or charges stem from Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's investigation into a hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels during the 2016 presidential campaign. Daniels claims she had an affair with Mr. Trump back in 2006, a claim he has repeatedly denied. It's not clear yet when former President Trump will surrender to authorities in New York and what that will look like. In a statement, his attorneys saying, quote, President Trump has been indicted. He did not commit any crime. We will vigorously fight this political prosecution in court. This will be the first ever criminal case against a former president of the United States. Mr. Trump releasing his own statement today, calling the indictment, quote, political persecution and election interference at the highest level in history. The former president has already declared he is running for president again in 2024, and polls show that he is the Republican frontrunner. No question, this and the other investigations he still faces will loom large over the campaign in the months ahead. In Washington, I'm Alice Barr. Back to you.
All right, so sources are telling CNN that Tuesday will be the day that the former president will be in Manhattan facing these criminal charges. So Tuesday is the day to look out for that. Coming up tonight at 11, former Vice President Mike Pence was on CNN giving his reaction to this indictment. So you'll hear from the former Vice President, and Rachel Krause gathering some local reaction from legal experts and experts in political science in terms of what comes next, Felicia.
This all just big news. I mean, I don't think anyone thought that we would see a former president being charged with a crime formally in court. And I think Ron DeSantis was a Florida governor. Ron DeSantis was over on Fox News. So everyone just reacting. So here's the news cycle for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, so we'll have more on that story coming up tonight on 13 News at 11 o'clock. All right, the final subject that we want to talk to you before we go ahead and talk about who's watching tonight and where they're watching, want to talk about plants that make noise. Because there was this big study today that came out saying that plants, in fact, make noise when they are under stress. So there is this company called Cell Press that takes a look. They're biology experts, and they put some microphones next to plants in greenhouses, and were able to check the frequency, and here is what a plant sounds like when it's either stricken by drought or after it's been cut. Listen. So I guess in plant language, the drought-stricken plant is saying, hey, give me some water.
Give me
some water.
Give me.
And plants also apparently make this noise when they're cut. So perhaps when we're pruning, the plant's like, hey, stop it. Leave me alone. Don't cut me.
Maybe. I just thought this was fascinating. I know you guys, I don't think you guys cared that much. But I just thought this was so cool. I mean, it is a living organism after all.
Right.
And because I'd like to think that I'm a scientist, I think it is maybe the noise from a chemical reaction that's going on in the plant.
Right.
I'm thinking from photosynthesis.
Right.
Sure.
Or,
let's go with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a scientist on Thursdays. So I just think just Thursdays. But it's just fascinating. It is a living organism after all.
Yeah, the study looked at tomato plants when they were dry or cut, and tobacco plants when they were dry or cut, and they recorded these and were able to find out that plants do emit sounds when they are stressed. And while humans may not be able to necessarily hear them, other plants and animals apparently do. So
It sounded like those two were talking to each other. So I'm just
It sounds like texting. That's what I think when I hear it.
that
You know, the
sound.
texting on your iPhone?
yeah. All right, let's find out what folks are saying. Zach is with us tonight. Fulton's back with us. Mary's saying watching from beautiful Florida. Mary,
Hey, Mary.
Rubbing
thank
it
you so much
in.
for joining us tonight. Kelly joining us tonight. We've got, let's see, we've got Sherry joining us from the South Side. Good to have you with us, Sherry. Teresa's always with us, saying evening, friends. Carrie watching from New Whiteland tonight. Jerry's with us. Jim is with us. Kelly. Terry from Petersburg, Indiana. Jerry is with us. Let's see, I mentioned Monica, Tom, and let's see who else as I'm going through. Gloria from Indianapolis. Betty's joining us tonight. Ralph, Mindy from Michigan. And so it's good to have everybody with us. Catherine as well joining us tonight. So it's been a big evening. And in case you missed the forecast for Friday, bring your rain gear.
Yeah, we'll have some rain around early tomorrow morning, and then the threat of severe weather tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow night.
Okay.
And it's Friday.
Well, there it is.
There
There'll
you
be a
have it.
lot of plants talking tomorrow.
Yeah, they'll be happy.
Floor Director Naya, how you feeling about
right.
that forecast tomorrow?
She's shaking
I
her
just
head.
wish
She's shaking her head.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't on a Friday.
Yeah.
You have to work anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, when does it move out?
We're going
It's
to be
gonna-
talking about this
Yeah.
this time tomorrow night, probably,
Yeah,
right?
and it'll be very windy on Saturday, so we
Yeah.
won't, the rain will be gone Saturday,
Okay.
but very windy, back into the 40s, so we're not quite done with the system. And then Sunday's your day for outdoor plans.
you
Okay,
go.
yeah, I
Yeah.
hear you saying sleep in.
Yes.
Sleeping in is always a good
Got it.
thing if you can do it. All right, thanks so much for joining us tonight at 10 o'clock. We're with you every weeknight, 10 o'clock, and we'll see you at 11 o'clock over on 13. Good night.